710 ESPN Seattle presents
The Calabro Show Warmup, powered by the law offices of Heidi Hunt.
Hey, welcome to the warm-up, everybody. Jim Moore with Washington assistant women's basketball coach Steve Sandmeyer.
Hi there.
See, look at this. Look at this. He's got the Washington women's hoop gear on here.
Well, who doesn't wear women's sweats? These are Jordans, by the way. I will have you know, Jim. These aren't just any sweats. And by the way, before we start, I need to pay off a little bet here.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
This is here just to show that I'm a man of my word. Are the two? They are cold.
Cold.
The
Nice.
two sixers of Pike IPA that I lost to Jim. The odds makers had it as a pick on Thursday's Washington-Oregon game last week, and I barely lost. I don't know if you saw a game, Jim.
Barely lost.
That was a really close one. So I want you to have these.
Okay, we'll tell you more about the bet after this. Welcome back to the warm-up. Steve Sandmeyer paying off here. Unlike me, I had a bet with Bob Rondo. I think I told you on the air, right? Where Rondo wanted, he bet me a half rack of Blue Moon.
Blue Moon?
You had a real man's beer here, Pike IPA. And so I haven't paid off Rondo for the Apple Cup yet. And here you are. What has it been, 3 days since we made this bet? 4 days?
Well, yeah, but Jim, you can't re-gift these to Rondo. Okay?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
No, beer is never re-gifted.
Okay, well,
Have you ever re-gifted beer before?
No.
I didn't think so. So anyway, so that's nice. So we'll be talking about this. We'll be talking about the Husky basketball team. They bounced back. It was a nice win. Anytime you win on the road. I mean, I understand it's Oregon State, and how good can Oregon State be if the Cougars knocked them off like they did Thursday night? But still, the Beavers were favored in that game since we're talking point spreads, which surprised me.
Conventional wisdom is you need to sweep at home and split on the road. So from that end, the Huskies did their part. They're still on the outside looking in, according to Joe Lenardi of ESPN. He's the bracketologist, and
They're on the bubble, or
they're on the first four out right now. He's got Cal and he's got Arizona in, and I know that's just a lot of projection, but Joe's pretty accurate when it comes to getting those teams in the field. So Huskies still with a lot of work to do, even with a win yesterday.
Can you imagine, like right now, if Cal and Arizona did make it in and Washington didn't, especially with Washington being ahead of Arizona in the standings and beating Arizona in Tucson?
Well, I think
there'd be quite the fuss here, I would think.
Yeah, obviously everything comes down to the games this week. You get a home win against Arizona and sweep a season series. That probably won't be part of the discussion. Arizona wins that game in Seattle, and then all of a sudden we're going to look closely at RPIs and the fact that Washington only gets California once this year. That may turn out to be, unfortunately, a mark against them. We'll have to wait and see.
You look at it, Washington's got what? They've got 2 home games left. That's it, right? Then they go to Pullman. They play the Arizonas this week. Then they go to Pullman. They finish out down in L.A. You got 2 slam dunk wins for sure. You're gonna beat Arizona State and USC. But the other ones could go either way, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Arizona, I'd be really worried about that one on Saturday if I'm the Huskies. The Cougars. Not me just saying this. I think, in Pullman, the Cougars are pretty tough. They've only lost 1 game there at Beasley this year, and that was to UCLA last week. So we'll see. Washington being a bubble team, they've got to be. I was thinking that must be the worst 10-3 conference team in the country. Don't you think when you look at that Washington team?
Well, you look
they didn't look that good to me yesterday.
Look at the other 3 lost teams, and you might find the other worst 10-3 conference teams or 9-4 conference teams. The Pac-12 is down this year. The worst thing that could have happened to the conference, Jim, is happening, and that is you've got a lot of teams crowded at the top of the conference. And there's no real way to differentiate between all of them with 1 or 2 losses separating them. And we'll see what happens in the last handful of conference games. But you look at RPI, you look at the strength of schedule, you look at the conference RPI as a whole, and the Pac-12, if I said Pac-10, I misspoke. I must have had a beer before this. The Pac-12, you're not going to get anything. You're going to make me laugh.
We'll be off the track soon.
Anyway, it's going to be one bang of a show.
It's like I heard that, what did I hear? Something about there's no good wins left on the schedule, only bad losses. Because you can't play anybody who's good enough to really help you out. I still think Arizona's a heck of a team. I would be really concerned about Arizona, but we'll see. We're going to be talking Pac-12 basketball. We're also going to be talking to Clayton at 4. Larry Stone of the Seattle Times at 4:30. The Mariners. Spring training has started. And then Les Carpenter from Yahoo Sports, used to be with the Seattle Times. We'll be talking to him at 5:30 about, what did he say? He thinks Peyton Manning should retire. I think that's what Les's take on that whole Peyton Manning situation is. And we'll be talking the Sacramento situation. We'll be getting into this letter from Jeremiah Jackson to Christopher Hansen from Think Big Sacramento. Bizarre stuff in here.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised to see that. So we'll have that. We'll be talking to Aileen Voisin.
He did it.
I got it. I got it out the first time. When it counts, I'll probably butcher it. But Aileen Voisin from the Sacramento Bee will join us at 3:30 to talk about the Kings situation and what the latest is down there. That's the warm-up. Join us at 3 o'clock. Steve Sandmeyer, Jim Moore, be there. Thank you. So long.